All right, just verifying we're live here. About to start our stream on convenient specialty coffee. Wait, see if we're going. If you're with us already, thank you for joining us. And yeah, we are up. Oh, let me turn that down. So as we're getting ready here, I'm just going to get a couple of really convenient coffees going, like a cappuccino over here. We'll do a coffee over here, and we'll do another coffee over here. So all I was doing is pushing buttons there. But we're going to get a lot deeper in here. We're going to make a ton of drinks. And we'll start piling them up here as our machines are going. Thanks for joining us. I'm Mark. We're at Whole Latte Love. Today, again, we're taking a look at super automatic espresso machines or automatic coffee machines. These are all bean to cup machines, and you can see they're starting to do their thing right now. Again, we got a coffee going over here on this machine. We're going to have a cappuccino here and another coffee over here, but we'll do some other milk drinks. So these are all Gaggia machines. Kind of have a range here. More of an entry level, the Gaggia Brera. Kind of mid-range, Gaggia Velasca, and their top-line Babila over here. So these are all all I did was push a button. But let's get going. It's 1 o'clock, so welcome to Whole Latte Love. Again, I'm Mark. We are doing the social distancing thing here, so I'm all alone except for my wife who's in the studio with me. Tracy, thank you. So a few links before we start here, a few links down in the description of this. I want you to be able to find information real easy. So on the Gaggia Babila here, the Babila, the top of the line, I've got a full review of that machine. And then I have a link down there that compares the Velasca Prestige here, the Brera, and another Gaggia machine. So do check that out. A lot more detail in that. Then I've got 5 reasons to forget about Keurig and maybe pick a Brera instead. And I'm going to give you a little hint about that right now. And then also, if you're more of a hands-on espresso type of person where you want to grind into a portafilter and do all the tamping, we did do a live stream a couple days ago, 20,000 views already on best value premium entry-level semi-automatic machine and grinder package. We do have off-site moderators, so if you have questions during the live stream, Ed, Nick, and AJ are ready to answer those right in the stream. I can see a bunch of folks are with us already. Thanks for being with us. So you can see, like when I was getting started there, I've got a couple cups of coffee, a really nice cappuccino here that was made automatically. I didn't have to do a thing, and it's all happening bean to cup. So these machines, now if you're familiar, you know Keurigs are everywhere in the U.S., and I want to talk about that for a couple minutes. I'm kind of on a mission to get people to consider bean to cup instead of Keurig for a couple of reasons. Again, the machines are an investment up front, but they're going to pay for themselves, and who doesn't like to invest and make some money back, right? But beyond that, you're going to get much better coffee. You're also going to get access to, like a cappuccino. I'll show you a latte macchiato being made over here in a few minutes. But let's talk about the Keurig for a minute. So I did some math this morning. I wake up early and I think of things like this. So here's one of those Keurig cups. I've got a bunch over here. So I've got kind of like a store brand. I've got more of a national brand. Store brands, if you're lucky, maybe 40 cents you can get these for each. This more national type of a brand, that's going to be running you probably 70, 80, even 90 cents. So let's just say average 50 cents. So what do you get in that cup? You get usually somewhere between 8 and 10 grams of ground coffee. Looks like that. Now, I don't know when that coffee was ground, but the second you grind coffee, you're going to lose flavor. And honestly, I can't drink Keurig coffee because I'm so used to bean to cup and a coffee like this, which is so much better. So let's talk about the cost comparison versus a bean to cup machine. So about 50 cents for this, and here's 10 grams of beans. And if we talk about a coffee like this, and if you watch my videos, I really like this coffee. I've got some other more specialty coffees here. This goes for $20 a kilogram. 10 grams of this is going to cost you 20 cents. So 20 cents versus 50 cents. All these machines, they grind it fresh for each and every cup, and it's going to be much better. So the math I did in my house, I have a super automatic machine. I've had a couple of these in my house, but I've got my lovely wife Tracy, my daughter Sydney, And we drink about 6 cups a day between us, a different assortment of espresso, regular coffee, the milk drinks. So 6 a day. So I told that up, it's about 2,000 a year. Now, if I was using 2,000 of these capsules, that's pretty easy math, right? If it's averaging 50 cents, that's $1,000 a year in these capsules. And Tracy wanted me to remind everybody that these capsules have to go somewhere, right? I don't want to throw away 2,000 pieces of plastic a year, but at 50 cents. So anyhow, my cost here is $1,000 a year for those capsules. It's $400 a year for the whole beans. So $600 I'm going to save going there. That's going to easily pay for this machine. No problem there, and I'm going to get better coffee. Now, let's talk about lattes. Now, my wife did work in a cafe for a while, so she knows the prices. I figured, on these machines, the Velasca Prestige and the Babila, you're going to do that 20-cent coffee, and then you're going to add like 10 cents of milk to it, so 30 cents to make a latte on one of these machines. Now, this morning, thinking about it, I said, you go out, get a latte, maybe it's $3. Honey?
No, more like $4 or $5.
She says they can go 4 or 5, but I know plenty of people who hit the cafe and they maybe twice a day or a drive-through twice a day to get a latte, and they're dropping, and I'm being very generous, I guess, according to my wife, at $3 each. That's $6 a day. If you do that daily, that's $2,200 a year you're spending on those. And you've got to go get it, right? And somebody's going to make it for you. It may not be exactly what you want. On these machines, 30 cents for a latte. Using a really nice coffee, your own milk, and you're able to customize it the way you want it. So you're going to save $2,000 a year. And again, I guess I'm being generous according to my wife at that $3. So there's that. I mean, it's an investment. Not only is it going to save you money in the long run, it's going to get you a much better cup of coffee. So let's take a closer look at these machines. I want to kind of go over the common features because they all work basically the same. They're grinding whole beans fresh, and then they're going to go into this guy. I pulled one out. This is the brew unit. It's like, I call it the magical little barista in the machine who does everything a barista would do with this guy. So the coffee gets ground, drops into here, it gets tamped like a barista would do, and then brewed. And that's inside of all these machines. And then at the end, it just expels a coffee puck into a drawer. I'll show you those. Just expels that coffee puck, and then that's what you get rid of. And those coffee pucks are biodegradable. I don't do a lot of vegetable or flower gardening at this point in my life, but I hear they make a great fertilizer. You can put them right in compost. You're not throwing plastic away. Personally, I'd feel bad about throwing 2,000 of these away, and also $600. But that's beside the point. So what's common about these machines? Okay, bean hoppers. So you're using fresh beans. So on the Brera here, this is the Gaggia Brera, the beans go up top here. There is, all the machines, and I'll show you the other ones as well, they have a grind size adjustment knob here. So you can adjust the grind size. So for instance, if you're drinking mostly espresso, you'd go towards a finer grind size, more, like regular coffee, a coarser grind size. So that's in the Brera here. Got the same thing over on the Velasca here. I hope you can see around the cups I'll be using. Here's its grind size adjustment. Now, as you go up in the models, you're getting more features. So there's 5, I believe, grind sizes here. We've got 10 here on the Velasca Prestige. And then we go over to the Babila here, and you have 15. So it just gives you a higher degree of control. There's the beans in there. They all have nice lids to keep your beans fresh. Another thing all the machines have here is a bypass doser. So if you want to do a decaf coffee at night or something, if you got some of that pre-ground or other pre-ground coffee, you can bypass dose here. On the Velasca Prestige, you dump it in here. In the Brera, you dump it in here. So you can do that. Now let's talk, I'm going to move these drinks out. We're going to start stacking these up in a minute. I just want to be able to show you a couple other things here. So I'll move those out of the way. So all the machines take water, of course, you need water. So on the Babila here, it's up top here. This is the water reservoir. And then for the used coffee in here, I'm going to have to move a couple things out of the way. Used coffee in here ends up behind this massive door. Check out the hinges. These things are built really well. Also, by the way, they are all built completely in Italy, manufactured there. So you get your used coffee. There's that brew group I was talking about in the Velasca. Another nice thing, or in the Babila here, another nice thing on these Gaggia machines, a lot of metal. You look at some competing machines, you don't find as much metal. So on the Babila here, the whole exterior of the machine on these sides is all metal. On the Velasca Prestige, metal up front. You've got a nice metal tray up here. Let's see. Yeah, I can pull this off. So on the Velasca Prestige and on the Gaggia Brera, your used coffee, sorry I'm reaching over top, is right here and here. I'm going to pull out that coffee. I like touching coffee. So there's what you get rid of out of this machine. There's that puck of coffee. I'll put that over here. And then the water goes in here. All the drip trays come out so you can empty them without much issue there. Really collects a lot of water. I'm going to pop this back in. I'm reaching over top here. There we go. Pretty sure I'm in there. And then in the Brera here, same idea. Water and use coffee. I'll show you that little coffee puck. Whoop. And I'm starting to make a little bit of a mess here. And I do like a clean area. I'll just wipe this down. I'm going to get rid of this. So let's make some drinks on the Brera here. Let me get rid of this. Now, on the Brera, what I'm wanting to do is, you saw like a small coffee that I made over here. Now, I want to do 2 espresso because single serve coffee, that's what a Keurig is, right? Well, here we can get 2 drinks, so we get dual serve. All these machines can make 2 of the coffee beverages at the same time. They have adjustable spouts right here. Now, if I want to, on the Brera, I'm just going to start these. So I'm just going to hit the espresso button twice. And it's going to indicate in the display that I'm brewing 2. So it's grinding those beans right now. Then they're going to drop into that brew group, the ground coffee, and then it's going to extract. And hopefully everything's fine. I didn't quite have the water reservoir pushed all the way in there. And there it goes. So it did a little pre-infusion, so it pre-wets the coffee. That's what that delay was, so it gets more out of the coffee. And you can see here I have 2 coffee sizes, and I'll show you how to program those. It works very similarly on all the machines. And look at that espresso. That's really nice. You also have, I have this set at the strongest setting right now. Now when you do 2 drinks on a Gaggia machine, it does 2 grind cycles. A lot of other competing machines, there's other manufacturers that make these, they'll only do 1 grind cycle. But when you do 2 on a Gaggia, so there's that second grind cycle, when you do 2 on a Gaggia machine, it's going to grind twice. So you always maintain the flavor of your coffee, even if you do 2. So I could do 2 coffees as well, and it would do the 2 grind cycles. So it's doing that pre-infusion again for a second, it stops, and then it continues to brew. Now notice over here it does have a steam on. The other 2 machines, they make a drink, they're called one touch. You press a button, it makes a milk drink, start to finish without your intervention, and that's wonderful. Over here, with this machine, you can use a frothing pitcher, and if you check the link, if you want to know more about this machine, this froths your milk for you automatically. So it heats it up, gets it that little froth going, then you can use that for a latte or a cappuccino. In fact, with this machine, if you watch that video, you can even go to latte art quality. There's a way to do that. So that link's down in the description. So let me move these out of the way. And I want to bring the Velasca Prestige over here. So I'm going to move this out of the way. I want you to get as close of a look as you can. I just can't have anybody else here operating cameras for me to get you in close. So I've got to move some stuff around. So we'll bring our Velasca Prestige over here. So you saw I did make the cappuccino on this when we first started. Now I'm going to make, this has a special drink I really like. It's called the baby cappuccino. So I've got this nice little glass here. So I'm just going to put that under. Again, you got the adjustable spouts here, the detachable milk carafe. And I'll show you how that works over here. But basically you just pull this out of the fridge and put it on your machine and you're good to go. So for that, I'm going to go into the special drinks menu and I'm going to go down one and just say, I want a baby cappuccino. So now, again, you're hearing the machine grind. So it's doing its grinding. And then I'm also going to show you how these carafes are great because once you're done, you can just go put it right back in the refrigerator and it's going to be good to go for next time. But they also do a little cleaning routine for you that's very nice. So right now it ground the beans. Now it's just heating up, getting the steam ready to do my milk. And that's going to start right now. So you'll see I'm just going to make sure my glass is in the right spot here. So there comes our milk froth. And it's a really nice, light froth. Oh, that's okay. So it's doing the milk. This is that baby cappuccino. And at the end of this, after it does a milk drink, it's going to give me the option to right away rinse the milk so I can put the carafe right away, or at any point, there's a quick carafe clean here that I can push to rinse that out as well. So now it's going to brew my espresso over that. And this one I'm taking a drink of. This is one of my favorites. I do like, I'm not a huge milk drinker, but I do like this one that features the coffee a little bit more. It's got more espresso to milk ratio in it. And that's just gorgeous. Now, if I realized my cup size wasn't right, I could stop a drink at any time. So now I'm going to look up here. Now, it's giving me the option to quick clean. So if I hit the check mark, I can do that now, or it's got a dedicated button for that. So I'm going to hit the quick clean button. I like to just put something in here to catch the rinse. It can go right into the drip tray. I don't like emptying drip trays, so this is how I do it. So I hit the check button. And I've got everything in, and now it's going to run hot water through this so that I can put this right back into the refrigerator. So it's going to keep that clean for me. If you're going to make another drink, you don't have to do this in between every drink, but if you're going to go put the carafe away, it's a really good idea. And I'm going to get a little drink of that baby cappuccino. Wow, and that's if you like them hot, that's a good one to have. So let's show you how this works. So now this is ready to go back in the fridge, so I'm going to pull this off. And I just take this and put it right back in the refrigerator. It's ready to go for next time. So we'll get that out of the way. Now I want to show you how the programming works. So let's make just a regular cup of coffee here. And it's really easy. Now all these machines are going to come pre-programmed, so you don't have to do a thing except hit a button with popular drinks, in the relative ratios of milk to espresso or coffee and that kind of thing. But what I'm going to do is show you how you can customize it to your cup size. And it's very easy. It works pretty much identically on all the machines. So I'm just going to hit my long coffee button here and hold it. And then in a second here, and this might be a little hard for you to see, it says memo for memory in there. So now what I'm going to let this do is let this coffee brew until I have the amount that I want in my cup. And once I have that amount, I'm just going to hit the check here, and then it'll store that time. I'm going to get that every single time. And if I go and make 2 coffees at the same time by doing that, it's just going to double the volume. So I can put 2 of these cups under there. So again, it's ground my beans. I've got this set to do a little pre-infusion on the coffee. And I got to tell you, this coffee with the whole beans ground fresh is so much better than pre-ground coffee or something you can get in a capsule. I mean, look at that. It's a much deeper extraction, much more flavorful. Now, on these machines, as you go up, you get more control of your coffee brewing. They all work basically the same, but for instance, on the Brera we looked at, you had 3 coffee strengths. On this one, you have 5, or you can use the pre-ground. And, in my mind, better quality, more convenient than Keurig, because I'm not going to pull out and throw away a plastic cup. And now I've got the amount of coffee I want, so I'm going to say, okay, good. And that's it. Now, next time I put that cup under there, that's exactly what I'll get. So that's the basic programming. Now, when I shut this machine off, it does have a standby time. It can turn off automatically. By itself, it will rinse the coffee circuit when that happens. Are you stealing a cup? Oh, there's my director coming on and stealing a cup. So I want to get to the Babila, so I'm going to move the Velasca here out of the way. And we'll pull the Babila over, so we get a look at that. Again, so it had that internal storage of the coffee. Well, let me show you that again. The internal storage of the coffee here. So when you need to empty out your coffee, it's right here. I'm going to pull out one of those pucks. So that's what you're throwing away again. No plastic. And there's that brew group. And I like, this thing is just built, I'd say like a brick blank house, but it really is. So there it is. And so what I want to do first, so I made the coffee on here. Let's do a latte macchiato. Now I've programmed this already for my glass. So there's my glass. Here's my milk carafe. And there's something really cool about this milk carafe. And I like a clean area, and I've been getting those coffee grounds from the puck all over the place. Let's clean that up. So kind of doing this backwards again. So you can either have a water spout here, this cover, or you can put this, or I'm sorry, the water on this one comes out of here. So I'm just going to snap my carafe in place, pull over the spout, place my cup. So I've just pulled this out of the fridge, and I'm just going to hit over here. We have 3 different coffee sizes, and we have the latte macchiato and a cappuccino. And I can't see it. There's the latte macchiato button. So I hit that, drop my beans. So it's grinding those whole beans fresh again. The Babila has 15 grind settings, 5 strength settings. And with the Babila, it kind of does 2 things at once. So you can see it's a little faster maybe than the Velasca Prestige, and it's already doing my milk. And again, I pre-programmed this. This has adjustable spouts. It's really cool. I'm going to show you how you can put a really large cup. This is actually the machine I use in the studio here for if I want a long coffee, if I'm not doing an espresso. This is the travel mug I'd had forever. It will fit under the spouts. I'll show you that. So if you like a large coffee to go, this is a wonderful machine for that. So it's doing my milk. I was going to push just a little steam through there. That's the first little clean. I'm going to show you what it does to clean things even just a little bit more, which is really nice. And now it's going to brew my espresso right over that. And again, I never have to touch it, and that's why we call these a one-touch machine. So I can hear it doing the tamping of the coffee now, which it already ground. Oh, and this little cover here, it's got a nice little spot. You can keep that up here. I like stuff like that. So I've got this set to pre-infuse as well. That's something you can adjust on this machine. And there goes my espresso. And I mean, look at the beautiful presentation you're going to get with this. And again, I do have a link down in the description with a full review of this machine, because there's a lot that it can do. Or it can be super simple like this. And it's giving me a little progress here. I've got it at full strength. This machine has 5 strength settings, 3 levels of pre-infusion. And I had programmed this earlier, and look, it just filled it so nice and beautifully right where I wanted. And that's an incredibly nice beverage, as good as anything you're going to get in most cafes. So the other thing I want to show you, so you saw the little steam that came out after the milk. Now when I push the spout over, it's going to do another little clean. So it's going to blow steam through this, actually through the handle. And if you watch here, you can see a little come out of the drip tray. It's going right out of the bottom of the carafe. So with that, I'm ready to go just stick this right back into the refrigerator, and I'm ready to go for next time. So that can go back in the fridge. I'll get that out of the way. And I want to put my little cover back on there so everything looks nice. So that's how that goes. Now let me show you how this works. I'm going to do a really tall coffee to go here. So I do want you to see the coffee it makes. So this spout here, so you have adjustable spouts, so you get all the way down to espresso size glasses, go up for a taller glass, or it pushes right back so you can fit and just get a single spout and do a really tall coffee to go. And I love this. This is what I want to leave the house with in the morning. But I'm going to make this in just another tall glass I happen to have here. And I'm going to program this one again, and I'm going to use the coffee button here. So I'm just going to press and hold. And I've got this set to a 3 bean strength. It's telling me memo in the display. So it's grinding the beans again, and it's going to make my coffee. A couple other things to notice on this machine. It does have a manual steam wand, and this is also where you can get water for Americanos. You can get water out of any of these machines if you like the Americanos, which is just a shot of espresso with some hot water over the top. Oh, another thing, flow control. So I had this set up for the long coffee, but I can restrict that flow if I'm doing an espresso. The flow control is something you find on really high-end machines, but if you can see that, the flow rate is changing. So if I'm doing a longer coffee, I'm not over-extracting. Between that and the grind size, you can really fine-tune your coffee. And then once it gets to the amount I want in my cup, I'm just going to hit the stop button here, and then it will remember that for next time. And if I do 2 cups, it'll do that amount 2 times with those 2 grind cycles that I mentioned. So we're good there. So it will save that amount now, and that's what I will get next time. So that's that. Again, the manual steam wand here, if you check the link in the description, I've got a full review on this machine where we do pour latte art using the steam wand here, so that's something you have. Again, it does have, you can force the cleaning of the milk carafe here. I love the ability to just pop the carafe on, make a milk-based drink, and just pop the spout over, put it in the fridge, and it's ready to go for next time. It couldn't be easier. You're not driving anywhere. And again, this drink, 20 cents in beans, 10 cents in milk, 30 cents compared to what, if you're hitting the drive-thrus or the cafe on the way to work or something where you're paying $3 or how much on? Like
Anywhere between $4 and $6.
four and six. Wow, I didn't know they went up that high. So those are the machines, and those are just some quick drinks that we made. Again, this is the Babila, and we had the Velasca Prestige back here that we took a look at. That's kind of middle of the road, a one-touch machine. The basic Brera here that does really nice long coffee, espresso, and has manual steaming when you want to do that. So that's, I guess, it. And I'm just trying to think anything else I want to talk about. We do have a nice assortment of specialty coffees available. If you want to go a little higher end, I happen to, I do like something like my beans that dropped, the Orfeo, which is a $20 a kilogram coffee, so 20 cents a serving. I also happen to like some of the specialty coffees, like an Ethiopian Yirgacheffe, that kind of thing. You can go there, use that in these machines, and it's wonderful. So I guess we got a minute or two here left, so we'll just see if I got any questions. Let's see. A-Train, just wanted to say thanks, Mark, for taking the time to provide these great live streams. Well, you're welcome. I appreciate your watching. It's a little different for us here when I can't have somebody helping me. But it's been a lot of fun. I like connecting through the comments. I will check those comments and give you really detailed answers. Something else I did. Oh, the wife has a question?
Yes, can coffee be brewed too hot?
Can coffee be brewed too hot? Well, you want to brew, typical coffee brewing temperatures are 195 to 205 Fahrenheit. Also, something else that people should know, milk can be done too hot. I can't tell you, a few times I've gone out to a cafe and gotten a latte, and if a latte is ever as hot as a standard cup of drip coffee, it's not being made right, because milk is at its sweetest point right around 140, 150 degrees. That's like for friends outside of the US, that's around 60 degrees Celsius. That's where you want the milk for the best flavor. So if you're getting a super hot latte, somebody's not doing it right. So you can brew too hot, and often I've felt like, I've had, when I bared with some Keurig coffee in the past, it sometimes feels as though it's brewed a little too hot. It's getting a little bitter. But 195 to 205 is what you want. That's what these machines do inside. Most of them have adjustable brew temp. And if that's, what's my favorite Fuego roast? I like the Ethiopian Yirgacheffe that I have right here. This is a high altitude coffee. It's got a lot of the, the fruit and berry kind of notes that you get from this kind of coffee. It's those higher altitude coffees. They grow more slowly because it's a little cooler, so the flavors are more concentrated in them. They're absolutely wonderful. So I'm going to wrap it up. If you have any questions, you can use the comments. If you need some help right away, call our coffee experts. They've used all of these products. They're all former baristas. You can get them at 585-924-7170. If you want more of a manual experience, which is usually my thing, do check out the live stream we did from last Tuesday. There's a link down there in the description for that, on a best value premium entry-level semi-automatic machine and grinder. Good information there. I do thank you for watching. I hope everybody's safe. I do hope you'll come back soon for more of the best on everything coffee with me here at Whole Latte Love. Take care, guys. Thanks. No, I want that one.